Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably, but it was for the good of the system in order to avoid the communists from taking over. For example, in Europe, in 47, 48, 49, the Greeks and the Italians, we
don't do that now, though? We don't mess around other people's elections, Jim?
Only for a very good cause.
Can you do that? Do a Vine video on a former CIA director.
Only for a very good cause in the interests of democracy.
All right, thanks for being here. It's always great to see you.
Isn't it interesting how they can both sit up there and laugh about this? How they can both sit up there and laugh about how they don't mind their business. Laugh about how they leave their countries and go stick their nose into other people's business in their own countries. Laugh about how they destabilize people's countries and cause so much suffering for the people in these countries just so their selfish interests are met. The irony of them sitting up there justifying their constant interference in other people's business. But then they have the audacity to be talking about what should the US do to counteract Russian interference. See, I'm not a fan of Russia. I'm not a fan of none of these palm-colored people. I don't trust none of them, okay? So this is not me defending Russia or saying I side with Russia or anything. I don't know what Russia is doing. I don't know what Russia is really up to. I don't trust Russia. I can only hope for our sake that, whatever it is that Russia is up to is good. But do I trust Russia, Putin, and the rest of them? No, I don't. Because just like this, a snap of the finger, they fit shock us. We don't really know what's in the hearts of Russia. Okay, I don't know what they're up to. I can only hope that, they would shock us positively. So again, I'm not a fan. I'm just here watching in hopes that, things don't go badly for us African people with Russia coming down here and, trying to be the good guy or whatever. I'm just one citizen on the continent who's not a politician. I don't have money. I'm not rich. I don't have this power. So there is nothing I can do to stop none of this, even though I am personally, wary of what's going on. But even though I do not trust Russia, I cannot help but, find it ironic that they have been interfering in people's business for years, but they have the audacity to be talking about, what should we do about Russia's interference? What should we should be the one talking about what we need to do about your interference. Like, you guys are not in the position to be talking about what should you do about other people's interference. Maybe you should be talking about what you guys should be doing about your own history of interfering in other people's business. How about you talk about that? How about you stop interfering in other people's business in the name of democracy? Like, leave these people alone and let them, the people, decide what they want for their countries. But no, in the name of democracy, these people always find a way to weasel their way into people's business and then go on to do the most undemocratic things. It's how they always see the problem in every other person but themselves. They are the saints. They are the ones who, never do anything wrong. They are always the angels coming to rescue people, even though they are the demons that put these people in the situation that they are in right now to begin with. Like, you are the reason they are in that situation in the first place. You created the situation that they are in and you put them there. But then you want to come back around and talking about, I want to come and save you. It makes my blood boil how these people create problems in hiding and then come around in the light talking about, I want to solve this problem. You created the problem. You are the problem. Like, it truly makes my blood boil after everything the US have done and continues to do. Let them tell it and they'll tell you how they are the good guy. It's always them pointing fingers. Every other person but themselves is the one doing something wrong. They don't see the wrong in anything that they do. Like, these people will legit come to your face talking about, see what those people are doing. That's bad. That's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. But then they are doing the exact same thing though, if not even worse than what the other person they are pointing at is doing. Like, the hypocrisy, I can't stand it.
There is a new scramble for Africa. The Chinese are here. The Turks are here, the Qataris are here, all of them are coming back. And the military bases that you see here is telling you that if you don't behave, we are going to use force. Sometimes I wish. And how do they interfere? They interfere militarily. They ensure that you in the military are trained in Sandhurst, are trained in West Point, so they affect your mind. They interfere diplomatically, sometimes through gunboat diplomacy, and that is why you see sometimes your typical European ambassador treats our heads of states in a condescending manner. They interfere through institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank. They interfere by ensuring that our economic infrastructure is beholden to theirs through dollarization. They interfere through education. They interfere by influencing our processes, by lending us advisors who tell us what to do. The neo-colonial project is alive and well, and it is at its most dangerous, and we Africans must smell the coffee. If we don't, they are going to continue to interfere. How else do they interfere? Through NGOs, Danida, CEDA, UKAID, USAID. These are Trojan horses that are introduced into our countries for the purpose of influencing our processes. And they infiltrate our institutions. Right now, if you look at the African Development Bank, look at the shareholding. It's Americans, it's Germans, it's Japanese, it's the French. And the Europeans have done their bit. They also interfere through post-colonial institutions. The Commonwealth of independent nations, they are not sovereign states. Former French-speaking nations. These are the instruments that they interfere through. And how do we then deal with this situation? We Africans must now begin to recognize, and this was recognized as early as 1963, and the chair of the commission is here. They'll be celebrating 60 years in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And 60 years ago, on the 24th day of May, Kwame Nkrumah warned us. He said, if we are not united, they are going to interfere with us militarily. They are going to interfere with our economy. They are going to interfere with our agriculture. They are going to interfere with our health. Our duty, and I hope that when African heads of states and government meet in Addis next week, it will not be another jamboree at which pro forma speeches are read. I hope it will be an occasion to give meaning to Africa Agenda 2063. I hope it will be an occasion to give meaning to Africa Continental Free Trade Area. I hope it will be an occasion to revitalize the Malabo Declaration, the Maputo Declaration, the Yamoussoukro Declaration. In other words, we Africans, as I conclude, we Africans must stop operating in silos. Rwanda alone will not confront them. Burundi alone will not confront them. But if we go through the regional bodies and ultimately the African Union, we may indeed succeed in putting away this bulwark. And remember, it is no longer just Europe.